Elon Musk and DOGE are caught in a hot mess yet again. Apple's next iPhone is dropping sooner than expected because waiting is for peasants, and an unlucky gamer just got bamboozled by Nvidia in a way that will make you double check every GPU purchase. I'm Lamar. Let's get into today's tech news. Elon Musk's new year, new me isn't off to a great start. One of his top Department of Government Spending DOGE staffers just resigned after the Wall Street Journal dug up his old social media account, which was full of racist posts. Let's be real here. He was probably gearing up to remove some DEI programs in the government anyway. Oh, and speaking of questionable hires, Musk brought in Darren Beatty, a guy with ties to white nationalists and a former Trump speechwriter. Which, side note, they never thought Trump had a speechwriter, and I know like every president has one, but considering the guy just says whatever comes into his mind and just moves on, it's kind of surprising. But now, more than a dozen states are gearing up to sue, trying to block Musk's team of cost-cutters from accessing sensitive federal payment systems fired with Americans' personal data. So will they succeed, or is this just the start of a much bigger backlash against the boogeyman of government spending? Because right now it looks like Musk is collecting more enemies than government savings. His best friend Trump is at it again by eliminating anything Biden. His latest move, slamming the brakes on the National Electric Vehicle Infrastructure Program, which is supposed to expand America's EV charging network. Not shocking he hated it so much that he had to throw out some false accusations about it during his 2024 campaign. Now, under the new mandate, states can only move forward with their NEVI projects if they're already locked in contract with charging companies. Legal challenges will likely arise, but let's be honest, Trump isn't afraid of the law here. He's already gone after EV policies, including Biden's goal to have half of all vehicles go electric by 2030. Next up, probably the federal tax credits for EVs. But here's where things get interesting. Tesla, one of the biggest winners of the NEVI grants, is completely untouched by this mandate. Which raises my question. Does Trump completely hate EVs, or is this just one of his way of repaying a favor to Elon Musk? I'll leave that to you. These researchers found a way to beat OpenAI for way less money. I guess it's open season to see who can beat Sam Altman's creation on a budget. This time, a team from Stanford and the University of Washington rolled out a low-cost AI model conveniently named S1. Even the name sounds like a cheapskate. S1 was trained on just 1,000 questions using a method called distillation, basically making the smaller models learn from the answers of the bigger models. And whose answers do they use? Gemini's 2.0 flash-thinking experimental AI, because one name wasn't clearly enough. Now, there's just one tiny problem. Google's terms of service explicitly forbid using Gemini's API to build rival models. But hey, rules are just guidelines, right? Instead, the researchers based S1 on Qwen 2.5, an open source model from Alibaba Cloud, because nothing says regulatory compliance like borrowing a Chinese AI. And let's talk about the budget, because they claim this AI was built for just $50. Yeah, he trained it using 16 H100 NVIDIA GPUs, but they didn't exactly come in a Black Friday bundle, did they? And yeah, maybe AI companies should start spending less, but the only thing going down is their patience. The amount of money they're spending is only getting higher. Into the Apple news, the iPhone SE4 might debut next week with a full launch expected later in February, at least according to Mark Gurman. But don't expect any flashy event. Apple is just dropping a press release for the phone because, let's be honest, this phone isn't important enough to make Tim Cook come out of his office. So what's new? The new phone dishes the old design for this new flashy iPhone 14 design, with no more thick bezels thanks to Ozempic, and say goodbye to the Touch ID because Apple is officially done with it. And if you're still mourning over it, please seek professional help. Under the hood, Apple is storing its own modem chip for wireless communication, the A18 chip, 16GB of RAM, USB-C, because we all know Apple can't keep on fighting the EU for long. The camera, 48 megapixels, which will help you capture some crispy ass photos for its $429 price tag. Because Apple is trying to keep it under $500 to keep up with budget phones, but Apple likes surprising us. The UK, land of fish and chips, now surveillance. Britain has ordered Apple to let it spy on users' encrypted accounts. And if Apple agrees, that means the UK could have access to every single nude on an iPhone. They demand a secret backdoor that grants authorities blanket access to cloud backups worldwide. This isn't just about helping in specific cases. No, this stems from the Investigatory Powers Act of 2016, better known as the Snoopers Charter, and it would completely wreck Apple's long-standing privacy commitments, because if Apple refuses, it might just disable encrypted storage for the UK entirely. And then after that, where are people supposed to securely store their sensitive data? Google Drive? Hell no. But the problem just doesn't stop there. If Apple caves to the UK, other countries, looking at US, will demand the same privileges. So instead of being bullied into submission, Apple could just withdraw encrypted storage worldwide. I mean, if they do, that could be badass. Speaking of encryption, congrats, the CPP has your personal data. If you already use TikTok, don't worry, they already have it. But thanks to DeepSeek, they have it again. Security firm Now Secure discovered that DeepSeek iOS app sends sensitive data over unencrypted channels, making it an easy target for interception and tampering. And despite Apple's very serious parented warning, come on, put in your code, this code outside, DeepSeek just ignored it and disabled encryption anyway. Where is all this data going? Straight to servers controlled by ByteDance, aka the same company that owns TikTok, which in case you forgot, is deeply tied with the Chinese government. For now, security experts recommend deleting DeepSeek ASAP before you donate any more of your precious data to the Chinese government. The investigation is still ongoing, and let's just say DeepSeek's privacy isn't exactly helping, because under certain conditions, it allows data access and sharing with Chinese authorities. So maybe, yeah, just don't. I just found out that your iPhone can measure your personal height. I mean, your friends could be secretly checking your height, like, I could have sworn he said he was 6 foot. Great Scott! He's actually 5'9". Into the gaming news. GTA is scheduled to be released this fall, and Take-Two, the publisher of the game, has assured us that they will keep their word, among other pleasant words. The publisher also aims to support the Nintendo Switch 2, which a recent pattern confirmed that those Joy-Cons also double as mice. In a world where Asus is offering gold-accented 5090s for the rich, this gamer thought he was in luck, but he wasn't. He has adequate luck. On the LTT subreddit, a user presented the Founder Edition RTX 5080 at launch price. Let's give his luck a boost. The card had 5090 engraved on it. Despite ordering the RTX 5080, I mean, if it was me at that moment, I would have thought of cheating the system. Heck, I beat the Matrix. The outer package showed the RTX 5080, but the card shroud was labeled RTX 5090. Clearly the Matrix and luck were playing games with him at this moment, or someone at Nvidia's factory did a bad job. But after plugging in the GPU, it had an RTX 5080, so he got exactly what he paid for, with the wrong name engraved on it. That reduces luck. But does this mean that there are other Founders Edition cards out there masquerading as better cards when they aren't, giving false hopes to people who had to fight scalpers and outrageous prices, and they got something they didn't pay for? Speaking of prices, Rocksteady are reportedly working on a single-player Batman game. We all know Batman is the greatest superhero of all time, the OG, the GOAT. And the WonderWoman game has had more mood swings during production. With over $100 million down the pipe, the game is 2 years away from launch, but I can't wait to see your AI-generated frames. Wait, can I say that?